Okay, so with AI coming at us fast, everyone's talking about learning to code, right? Or how to write the perfect prompt. But what if the most important skill, the one that's really going to matter, isn't technical at all? What if it's something, well, something deeply human? That's what we're going to dig into. And this quote from Chesterton, it just nails it. Life is a story, and if there's a story, there is a storyteller. Think about that for a second. When AI is doing all the what, writing the code, designing the products, our job, our irreplaceable role, becomes being the storyteller. We're the ones who give it all a why. So you can see here we're in the middle of this huge shift. We're leaving behind what they call Society 4.0, the information age we've been living in, and we're moving into Society 5.0, a super smart society. This is where the lines between our physical world and the digital world just completely blur, and it's all powered by AI. And listen, this is not some sci-fi movie stuff that's decades away. Just look at how fast the web has evolved on this timeline. I mean, we went from static pages in '95 to interactive communities to decentralized ownership, and the very next leap, the age of AI agents. And they're pinning that to start right around 2025. That's like now. Okay, this is the key takeaway right here. We have to understand the difference. We're moving beyond the kind of generative AI we play with today, which is basically a tool. It just sits there and waits for us to tell it what to do. What's coming is the AI agent, and that's an actor. It can set its own goals, go find information, make decisions, and actually do stuff for us, all on its own. So you can see where this is going, right? This huge leap in technology raises a pretty fundamental question about, well, us. If AI is going to handle the how of pretty much everything, what's left for us to do? What's the new job description for human intelligence? Well, one really interesting answer comes from Professor Takayuki Obari. And his argument is basically, hey, let's stop trying to beat the machines at their own game. Instead, he says we need to focus on something only we can do, a skill he calls deep cultural literacy. And he breaks this idea down into three main pillars. First, you've got worldview. Think of it as your life's compass. Then intercultural understanding. And finally, the philosophy of science, which is all about questioning how we know what we know. Now, they're all super important, but we're really going to zero in on that first one, the worldview, because it's the anchor for everything else. Okay, so what does that even mean, having a worldview? Let's forget about tech for a minute. Imagine this quote from someone who is a mile deep inside the Grand Canyon. They said, "You get this sense that life is far more grand than us." That feeling, that sense of being a small part of a much bigger story, that is the essence of a worldview. And that's exactly what Professor Obari is talking about. Your worldview is that internal compass, that set of beliefs and values that guides you. It's what helps you make sense of truth, purpose, and reality itself. It's your personal navigation system for life. And this right here is the crucial difference. An AI can process data like nobody's business, way faster than we ever could. But it doesn't have a compass. It doesn't have a worldview. It can't find meaning or purpose in what it's doing. That part, that's still our job. That's the human part. Now, this isn't just some high-level theory. It's actually being put to work right now in university classrooms. Schools like Tokyo Science and Globus Professional University are using these very ideas to get their students ready for this new AI-powered world. And what I find so fascinating here is how they're dividing up the work. They use AI for the objective, data-heavy stuff, right? Like checking grammar or giving a presentation a preliminary score. But the uniquely human tasks, like crafting the story, having a real discussion, figuring out what someone really means, and making that final ethical call, that's all reserved for the students. And get this, it's working. These programs that blend human and AI work are showing a real, measurable boost in student test scores. It proves that this kind of collaboration actually makes us better. But of course, there is a flip side. This powerful new partnership has its risks. The historian Yuval Noah Harari gives a pretty stark warning. AI could get really good at manipulating us by telling compelling stories that feel true but are completely made up. And that could seriously mess with our own judgment. So that's the big question, isn't it? How do we use these incredible tools without falling for their built-in biases, their, hallucinations, or even deliberate manipulation? The answer lies in building a much stronger framework for our own thinking. Let's call it intellectual integrity. And Dr. Margaret Yee gives us a fantastic roadmap for this. It starts with 6 scientific principles that are all about the how of thinking. This is like a mental checklist. Are we actually testing our own assumptions? Are we looking for real evidence? Are we talking to other people to challenge our ideas before we just accept what an AI spits out? And that's paired up with 6 ethical guidelines that are all about the why behind our actions. These are the values that keep us grounded, things like integrity, compassion, and maybe most importantly, the humility to admit we don't know everything. This 2-part framework makes sure our thinking isn't just smart, but also responsible. Okay, so when you put these 2 things together, a really solid personal worldview and this kind of intellectual integrity, something pretty amazing happens. It doesn't just change how we work, it actually changes what we think of as success itself. Yeah, the whole goal shifts. We move away from this inward-looking idea of self-realization, being all about personal achievement and getting ahead, and we move towards something more outward-looking. The source material here calls it truth or God realization, but you can really just think of it as shifting our focus to helping others succeed and be happy. And that brings us to the final question, really. In a world that's about to be flooded with artificial intelligence, what is it that makes our own intelligence truly human? Maybe it's not about being the fastest calculator or the best data processor. Maybe our most uniquely human skill is the ability to choose a purpose that's bigger than ourselves, to use our intelligence not just to write our own story, but to contribute to the grander story of everyone.